Welcome back. In today's Tech Rush, according to identity security firm Auth0, 65% of web users reuse the same passwords on multiple accounts. Now, with the rise of more and more data breaches, it's creating a new form of cyber attacks known as credential stuffing. Recently, New York Attorney General Letitia James found more than 1.1 million accounts online compromised in cyber attacks at 17 well-known companies, including online retailers, restaurant chains, and food delivery services. And right now, there are more than 15 billion stolen credentials being circulated across the internet. Joining us now is Matt Hayden, former Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary for Cyber, Infrastructure, Risk, and Resilience. Thank you so much for joining us. So can you first explain to us and to our viewers what exactly credential stuffing is in layman terms, and how does it all work?
So credential stuffing is where bad actors take lists of known usernames and passwords across the internet, just like you highlighted, 15 billion of them, and they take that information and they force all of them at a particular web service or application, hoping to get lucky that you've used the same username and password twice, so that you have the same authentication and it grants them access. So what we're looking at is it doesn't have to be highly successful. It can be 1 or 2% successful, but if you shoot a million accounts at something, that's going to get you a lot of access from that point forward.
Man, and I know that in the past I have been guilty because it's just, okay, let me just remember one password, one username, and that's it. But of course, that's not a good idea. How common is credential stuffing?
So it's becoming more common because what you have from online services is no one wants to be in a situation in which you can't service thousands of customers at the same time. So they're building in that performance. At the same time, we're looking at users that aren't leveraging those password managers and those necessary tools and expertise that a user level needs to work on. But we turn to the companies, and it's on both sides of the fence. Companies need to leverage tools like multiple factor authentication, where you get the text message and you get a secondary authentication to your account. At the same time, put in security processes that look for these types of attacks and prevent them from there. But it's not enough to just say that you're going to protect from this one particular threat. You have to actually protect from a myriad of threats at the same time, which are a lot of different public vulnerabilities, such as knowing that you don't have multiple factor authentication enabled, or the more prevalent vulnerabilities like Log4j that just came out, in which we have to look not just at our servers and our authentication systems, but our supply chain all the way down. And we're prompting our customers at Exiger to really check and deep dive with all of their vendors to make sure they're covering down on security settings, such as multiple factor authentication, and vulnerability disclosure and mitigation, so that this doesn't happen to their customers.
Now, Matt, I know I don't have to tell you, but there are so many times where it feels like we make these changes to security and we try to be one step ahead, but these hackers, I mean, they are very smart, and it seems like they're always playing catch up and they're always so close behind us. So what are some other cyber attacks that we should know about?
So from the most part, you're looking at authentication breaches. So we're looking at individuals that have their password compromised and they get into those accounts. At the same time, we're looking at the DDoS accounts, where someone uses your information to disrupt another. Those are the primary things we're seeing out there, and it's complemented by malware and ransomware. Once these accounts are compromised, ransomware is used to monetize these hacks and these compromises, and that's where we see a lot of things coming in that are really disruptive and causing us to question a lot of security settings across the board for critical infrastructure and the public across the worldwide.
So what is the best defense for businesses against credential stuffing?
They've got to keep up with the most recent patches and vulnerability mitigations. They've got to enable secondary forms of authentication, and they've got to keep a good eye on what's going on with their traffic. If they see 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 users hitting at the exact same time, they need to be suspicious of that. And if they don't have tools in place to monitor that, they're not going to catch it. So it's a mix of having the right tools and having the right mitigations in place for known vulnerabilities.
Such great advice there. And Matt, just my last question. I'm assuming by your background, the red in your tie is not for the Bulldogs tonight.
It is not. We are rolling tides tonight.
All right, there we go. Matt Hayden, former DHS Assistant Secretary for Cyber, Infrastructure, Risk, and Resilience. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.